It's back-to-back wins in the league, and we've got to ask our City non-back. No, we didn't get it either.
Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Non-back?
I don't know what that is.
I mean, no. Needs more work, Giovanni. Needs more, storyboarding.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something
I mean,
there.
I know I get the sentiment. He's scoring goals again.
He's back.
He's playing. He's not really been anywhere. That's the problem. He's just been on the bench. A bit.
Wham bam, thank you, Sam.
Better.
Would be better.
That would have been much better if he'd said that to the camera.
Oh, well. Well, you're absolutely right. Back-to-back wins. City, New Year's Day, Kassam Stadium, Oxford United came away 1-0 winners. Very pleasing.
Finally, a win against them.
Yeah, I mean, they've really taken us to the cleaners a couple of times, haven't they? So that was excellent.
Yeah. And it looked like it was all happening again. It's just like, why have this team got our number so well?
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
First half, you're like, oh, here we go again. You know, all over us.
Yeah.
I think it's only Oxford.
Well, they're not doing as well as us in the league, for example, are they?
Yeah, and it's not like exactly they're high flying, and we've beaten better teams than them, or at least done better against better teams than them. And yet it's like, what is it about this lot?
Yeah, it kind of felt like it was happening again, didn't it? All the pressure. They hit the post at one point, didn't they?
They had so many chances. They could have been 4-0 up at half-time.
But they weren't.
There's a very early-ish headed chance from a cross, which great save from Jamal Blackman.
Proving to be an absolute superstar this
Well,
season,
we've got to talk about him every week now for making really good quality saves.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of his game's good too. You know, obviously it's easy to look at these kind of match-saving moments when you kind of get down and get a big hand on something. But the rest of his game's good too. Good distribution.
Yeah.
Kicking's decent. Commands the box well enough. He's not coming and catching every single cross, but the ones, I think there's a few where he got a good, decent punch on a couple, and happy with him generally.
Oh, absolutely.
Really happy with him. You know, that's he's been really good, and he's already kind of saved us, like I said, a bunch of points. So.
There's some debate. I don't know if he's hard to say, isn't it? Comparisons between goalkeepers in different leagues, but certainly it felt like, how on earth can we replace Dawson? And we've certainly come very close.
Yeah, I mean, I was confident we'd get a decent keeper.
I wasn't,
because we're a
yeah. I mean, you're
team
right.
on the up. You know,
Yeah,
it's not the worst place in the world to go. It's definitely improved on that front. I think.
And if you're
getting people to come to Exeter,
if you're a person who might be interested in modelling swimwear for larger people,
yeah, unfortunately that business has been wound down now. So I think he's mainly concentrating on his goalkeeping and punching.
ne'er-do-wells.
Yeah, punching. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
He
people in white trousers.
He's thinking about being a bin man when he retires, of course.
Yeah.
My dad's only joke.
Chance.
My dad's only joke is, do you need any training to be a bin man? He tells it like this. Question, do you need any training to be a bin man? Answer, no, you pick it up as you go along. There you are.
Very good, yeah.
Jamal can have that one.
Yeah. Do you need any training, really? No, you just punch a townie into them, and it's sort of the job does itself.
There we are.
Taking out the trash.
He really
in
was.
more ways than one.
But we clung on, didn't we? 0-0. I tell you what, we
very much clung on. They absolutely... We couldn't get... And this was partly down to us, I think. It wasn't just that we were completely overrun by them, but we were a bit. We had nothing in midfield. Absolutely dominated us. Kai... So it started with Keggs again. He's back in for Matt J, which I can only assume just means he's favoured in that position by Caldwell, because Jay played the last 2 games in that position, and because Keggs had this virus, we think.
Yeah.
And then, but as soon as he's back fit, back in the side. Now, it might be that Caldwell thought Keggs has different kind of set of skills or does things slightly differently, and he'd be better against a team like Oxford. But I don't think it really went like that.
Didn't.
He didn't do much in the first half. We couldn't get hold of it. We weren't putting in any challenges. Like we looked shy of a tackle.
But also, we could not string two passes together.
Yeah, passing was sloppy.
Passing was
sloppy.
really sloppy. I mean, it didn't get much better in the second half, but it got better.
But it did in terms of the midfield.
Yeah,
we
maybe.
did get a handle on it better in midfield. Collins got on the ball more and stuff, and we were able to kind of use the middle of the pitch better to kind of like move the ball on towards the attackers.
That's true. Now, of course, it was Archie Collins' 200th appearance for Exeter City, which is remarkable.
Well, he just plays every game, doesn't he?
I know, but he's so
Has
young.
done for years.
He's 22.
Yeah.
I mean, hats off.
Well, he's been a mainstay in
Yeah.
that City team since
Matt Taylor started.
Since before that, I think. Since before we started this podcast, which is coming up 4 years. So, yeah, 200 appearances, you know.
There you go. Yeah, so second half he improved, didn't he?
He did. I mean, even
If
in
he
the
plays
first,
well, the team plays
even in
well,
the
really.
first half, yeah, I think that's definitely true to an extent. Yeah, even in the first half, we kept him out. You know, like I said, there was nothing in the midfield. We couldn't pass it properly to form any meaningful attacks, but we did keep him out, and that's partly down to just. And this has been picked up on plenty since it happened, and at the time, Alex Hartridge had the best game he had for a while.
Yeah.
Exeter. Like brilliant.
Yeah,
absolutely brilliant.
Because he's been a bit off it, hasn't he? And when he's good, he's great.
Yeah, he's not been bad, but he's not been as kind of like we were looking for. Even a couple of weeks ago, we were looking for someone to kind of stand up and be the one who's going to go. I'm going to head this away.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what he did on Sunday. So I can only assume that he's been listening to this and gone, "Oh, okay, I could do that."
I should do that.
I don't even mind that you said I look like a farmhand.
Yeah, we've stuck with that one, haven't we? So we managed to just about get to half-time 0-0. But we did.
Yeah,
Did get there.
yeah. The post again saved us.
Yes.
But yeah, it could have been like we could have been well behind it, and then you don't think. I mean, who knows? But it'd been much harder to kind of get back into the game.
Yeah.
As it was, we kind of had a fresh start in the second half, you know, and we could go, look, we're still in this. Let's do something about it. And Caldwell said to the players at half time, like, do you want to go out and try and win this, or do you want to just pass us by?
Well, did not. Maybe the players were as distracted as I was by the revolving advertising board that was offering a lot of ethically sourced organic coconuts.
Really? I didn't see this.
Didn't you see that? It was there all the time. I thought, really? I didn't know there was so much money in coconuts that you could blow so much of your budget on a moving advertising board on a New Year's Day football match.
Well, I think someone's ordered a lot of coconuts in and haven't managed to sell them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they thought for some reason, oh, coconut's going to be big this Christmas. They're going to be massive. Everyone's going to be, I've seen it on TikTok. Everyone's messing around with coconuts. So you ordered like an absolute ton of them in.
Yeah.
And then the good people of Oxford are as bewildered as the rest of us.
I mean, they're bright people in Oxford, aren't they?
Don't really want a coconut. In fact, the coconut ones are the last ones to even get eaten in a box of Quality Streets.
They are, that's true.
So, not by me. I'll eat any of them.
It's good of you. Anyway, they were really pushing this. So maybe the players were just like making plans for their coconuts.
Yeah, possibly.
New Year's bonus. I know what I'm going to spend that on. Half a ton of coconuts. Anyway, that was distracting me. It was a good job too, because the football was not really worth watching. Second half, however, different story.
Yeah, we came out the same team, and I was a bit surprised by this.
I thought he was going to throw the subs out.
Oh, he'll change this. He'll bring Kegs off, or something like that, or he'll bring Stansfield on, or he'll bring Matt J on. By the way, we haven't talked. But when does Giovanni go off? Is that the first half?
Giovanni goes off first half. Yeah, after half an hour.
So Giovanni's got a bit of. It turns out he had a bit of a kind of niggle anyway.
Yeah.
And he went down at one point, kind of not under a challenge, and was like played on for a few minutes, and then just came off about half an hour.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this isn't good. So he's replaced by Jack Sparks.
Yeah.
And then Josh Key moves up front.
Well, I think Kegs moves up front. Josh Key moves just behind, doesn't he? Probably.
I can't really work it out. I feel like, not sure.
Something like that.
Yeah. Either way, it's odd.
Yeah. Agreed.
Because neither of those two are out our natural strikers.
No, and we've got some natural strikers on the bench.
So was Key playing left wing back before that then?
I think he was playing right wing back,
What, and
wasn't
Caprice
he? Caprice
playing
was
left?
playing left.
Right, yeah. So Caprice definitely switched to the right, and then
Yes.
obviously Sparks on the left.
Anyway, yeah,
So second half, yeah, it's like that's kind of how it is, yeah. And we just managed to get a hold of things a bit better and start to kind of
Well, I think first 10 minutes, actually, it was all us. And I thought, well, this is already better.
yeah, and we're still defending well. Hartridge is still nodding everything away.
Yeah.
Dibarte's playing, and Sweeney, like we never forget, like Sweeney was good too, easy to overlook, but he was good.
And then it gets a bit more back and forward, doesn't it? Like the coconut shy, you're not sure if it's going to stay on or fall off.
Exactly like that. Yeah. Exactly like that.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
But from a corner, this is about 10, 15 minutes to go, isn't it?
Have you ever been on a coconut shy? I actually had a go at one.
Do you
Or
go on one or do you just stand behind the line and lob a...
Yeah, but that's having a go, I'd say.
All right. Yes, I have had a go at a coconut shy.
Yeah.
Well, it was weird. I suppose I was expecting balls.
Yeah, that is the traditional way.
I was given like small chunks of wood.
Oh, okay.
Imagine a wooden Rolo inflated to 3 times its normal size.
Oh, right.
They said, have one of these. Which I
think
did.
they've done you there.
Well, I lobbed it,
Yeah.
hit the coconut, glanced it, you'd say.
Right.
No movement.
Didn't knock it off. I think they're glued down.
That's what they say, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe what they do is they put the conical edge of the coconut within the acorn cup style hat.
Right, so you've really got to hit it towards the base to...
I think so.
Yeah, and you've got to hit it plumb.
No, there were no plums involved.
Hit it with a plum.
Hit it with a plum, that'd be very messy. So anyway, I never won a coconut.
Right.
Can I shock you, Dan? I've never eaten a coconut.
Haven't you?
No.
Yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, nice. It's nice. Not for everybody. If you ever think, oh, I'd love to drink that delicious coconut milk like they do on desert island films.
Swiss Family Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swallows and Amazons. Do they drink it in that?
I think that's England, isn't it? And that the Lake District.
Swallows and Amazons.
Isn't it? Oh, no,
No.
I guess it's in the Amazon. I never read it.
Oh, I think that's way away somewhere.
All right. Yeah, that would make sense given
Yeah.
the word Amazon.
If you know what the plot of Swallows and Amazons is, please write in.
Yeah. We could Google it. We're not going to.
You won't be under 40, and if you are under 40 listening to this and thinking, what are they talking about? What is Swallows and Amazon? And by the way, this is a tangent we've gone off from talking about coconut shies. I don't even know what we're doing. What's this?
What's this in relation to? So
I have
the
no
coconut
idea.
was rocking. The game was rocking from side to side.
Are we going back to that, are we?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Give up on Swallows and Amazons. Unless you're halfway through and you want to find out what happens, let us know.
Please don't spoiler Swallows and Amazons for any of the other listeners.
But Oxford
could if
United
I
have a
wanted
corner.
to.
They have a
Yes.
corner. And it's headed away. Is it headed away? Is it Hartridge even that gets a head on it?
Is this leading up to our goal?
Yeah.
I think it's Czech, isn't it? No, I don't know. I can't remember.
Anyway, Jake Caprice starts striding through our half with the ball. Off he goes.
Caprice, even after the first half, was one of the only... we got to get to some other bits before we get to this. We've been distracted by all the coconut
What
and
have I
Swallows and
missed?
Amazon talk. Josh Key's about 14 chances to score.
Josh Key had a lot of chances to score, didn't he? Because he finds himself in this advanced
So
position.
this is what happens. We start getting a few chances. Josh Key's been moved up front or much further forward.
Yeah.
Now, this is a bit of a sort of what I want to call the key conundrum.
Yes.
Is that I think it looks like Caldwell prefers him higher up the pitch.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And
We've got
there's been a few, and
wing-backs.
even first half, Key was giving away some dangerous balls. Obviously, gave away the penalty last week. He's a good defender, but he's not. Maybe since Caldwell's come in, not been kind of the best defensive version of himself.
Yeah.
And so I think he thinks, well, but he's such a threat that I want to keep him in there. So that's why we've seen him moved up into these more advanced positions. Problem is when he gets himself in these positions, he hasn't quite got. There's a game at this point where you think, oh, we're not going to get many chances here because they've been all over us.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, we're through. Oh, it's Josh Key. he doesn't really know what to do in front of goal.
Yeah.
He's never been a goal scorer.
No.
He's got a few here and there, but
mainly headers.
But he can get himself. He's excellent carrying the ball, and then he gets himself into this one where, all he's got to do is
the keeper's lying down,
smash it really. Yeah. And then there's another chance, and then
at this point, Keggs has gone off, and Jay Stansfield's come on, and he's still playing.
Yeah, but I think this absolutely... Yeah, but that's because we've got those wing-backs on now. We've got Sparks and Caprice in place,
But you think, given that Jay's on the bench, given that Stansfield's on the bench, you could change Jay and Keggs for Key and Chowkay. But he obviously, like you said, he absolutely is obviously committed to, let's see what Josh Key can do up there.
Well, he is causing them problems, and that does work, and it just needs needed to finish. And I think if we were talking about another striker, say it's Nombe that had those chances, or even Jay Stansfield himself, you'd think, oh, he's unlucky on that day, but he got himself into those positions, those chances. You just think, yeah, but those guys do score goals more often, and maybe more key players there, maybe he will start getting goals. But anyway, Dieng comes on too, and that makes a good difference. I think he's a great option off the bench to just come in and kind of just do something different.
That was after the goal, wasn't it? Dieng came on.
It was, but sorry, I made up. Yeah, so anyway, we get back to Caprice picking up the ball basically on the edge of his own area.
Yes, puts the burners on.
Yeah,
I mean, Oxford have left themselves short.
They have, yeah, because they're obviously pushing for down the other. It's down. It's
a corner. I think it is a corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then off Caprice goes and lays in Nombe. Is it straight to Nombe?
No, lays in. He cuts it inside. He's got options left and right. He's got Stansfield to his left. He's got Nombe to his right.
That's right. Oh, of course. Yeah.
He plays in Stansfield, which is the correct ball.
No, but he does a beautiful drag, doesn't he? Caprice keeps every option open, so the defenders don't know what to do.
But there's only one defender. So he's always going to have an option out of the two of them. Yeah. He waits to exactly the right time, Caprice, plays the ball exactly right at exactly right time. Stansfield opens his body up, shoots. The keeper saves it. They've narrowed the angle at that point, but then it just bounces out like Nombe
puts it away.
Knows to kind of follow in, and then calmly just puts it away. And you're like, oh, we're winning.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Is Caprice our most improved player over the past, maybe season? I just think
he's quality last season.
He's doing really. He was quality, but he seems to have stepped up even further. I know he still has his moments of
yeah,
chaos.
I think the good so far outweighs the bad these days.
I agree. I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah.
And things like that,
I love it when he gets going on his runs.
Really quick.
His head goes right back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then his arms are his hands are like a flat palm, like a kind of sprinter, kind of you can't see what I'm doing, but it's kind of like a,
makes that noise.
It's a running motion.
Yeah, you've seen a runner before, listeners.
Yeah.
He's been brilliant. So that was wonderful.
It must be frightening for a defender when that starts.
He's really quick.
Excellent.
So
they were winning, and then
we're winning. 15 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, something like that.
Nombe starts limping. Not long after that, so off he comes for Dieng, like you said.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't seem like to be a big problem, especially with the fortnight off.
Yeah.
So, and that was that, and then...
So then we've got a bit of time wasting to do.
Yes.
And I think... Well, we have another chance after that, because Josh Key hits the post?
The post, kind of the stanchion, isn't it?
Kind of floats it over. Again, like I said, fine margins. If you got one of those goals...
We'd be like, it's transformation, wouldn't we?
Yeah, and people would be looking, oh, look at that great winger they've got, attacking forward. But yeah, then a bit of time wasting by...
Everyone,
but mostly by Jamal Blackman.
Yes.
Now, he gives away an indirect free kick.
Yeah.
Because the second time in a row, he's kind of got the ball in his hands.
Yes.
And then it's just... Oh, he's taking the piss, isn't he?
Yeah.
He really... So here's the thing. I'm not like, oh, we're Exeter City and we don't do time wasting. We're better than that.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it. I like it. Please do time waste. You're going to have to be a bit better at it than that. Because it was like, what? You can't get away with this. The referee had no choice to give an indirect free kick. The second time
in our area.
Yeah, second time he did it, because it's just madness. You got to be better at it than that. And I've seen keepers be a lot better at it than that.
Given that Jamal's as tall as three houses, and the Oxford United's pitch the end he was kicking towards is a car park, I would have thought, aim for that car, Jamal. Put that kick into absolute orbit. I think he would have had a good chance. And, but no, you're absolutely right. He just kind of bounces it a bit. And
yeah, I think we were comfortable then as well, to be honest. We weren't really under loads and loads. We weren't
we
really
caused
inundated
ourselves
by
a problem.
Yeah.
Which thankfully didn't matter.
But yeah, you just got to be a bit better at it than that.
It was classic. I mean, it was ridiculously funny. But it wouldn't have been if it had scored from that free kick.
Anyway, so that's the full-time whistle goes, and there you have it. 2 away wins on the spin.
2 clean sheets out of 3.
Yeah. 7 points from 9 over the festive period. That's very good.
That's very good. And has really changed, for me, the direction it looks like Colwell's pointing. How everyone feels about him, how he's done since he's come in, all that stuff.
Well, I think we were saying just before these run of 3 games that we just needed a lift, didn't we?
Yeah.
There'd been some bad results. There'd been some not great performances, but there'd been some encouraging performances too, and we'd not got anything from those games. And it's sort of like it wasn't like Caldwell's record on paper was looking a bit bad, not looking that good.
Yeah.
But it didn't necessarily feel like that was kind of like, oh no, he's awful. What have we done? It felt like, we just need a bit of a lift here. We need to get some points. We need to keep some clean sheets, and that's exactly what we did over those last 3 games. And it does make a difference to the kind of the feeling around the supporters and what people are thinking and saying.
Yeah. Now, thanks to the good people at XWeb, and you can look this up yourselves if you want to. Caldwell and Matt Taylor are now for this season. Sorry, let me quantify this. The games that Matt Taylor managed us for this season, and now the games that Gary Caldwell's managed us for, we've got exactly the same amount of points per game.
Okay.
Now, of course, Caldwell's had a much more difficult run.
Yeah.
So that's a interesting turnaround, isn't it? Because I think we were all like, well, Taylor did this and that, and we were nearly top of the league at one point, and we were well in playoffs and all that kind of stuff. I mean, knowing that there were harder teams to come, but actually with these 7 points,
that's really good, isn't it? That's interesting too. Yeah, I think it's like, you can't hope for much more than that.
No.
Given these exact circumstances, the teams we had to play, the time of the season he had to come in, and which is just after you just got going. Given the fact that Matt Taylor's that was a side that he built, and straight off the back of the success that he had. So far, it has made things look up a bit, hasn't it, the last couple of games?
It really has. So that puts City in 10th.
Yes.
So I won't bore you with who's at the top, that kind of thing. But in 6th, Barnsley, that's the last playoff place. They've played 23 and they're on 40. We're in 10th. We've played 25 and we're on 34. And then to give you the other end of the picture, Burton and Accrington Stanley on 20th and 21st. That's either side of the relegation zone, and they're both on 22 points. So that puts us 12 points clear of top of the relegation zone.
Decent.
23 games to go. Very solid.
Yeah. Who's down the bottom of the table?
Well, Dan, shall I tell you more about that after this break?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. You can get in touch with us about Swallows and Amazons, or Swiss Family Robinson, or Pirates of Penzance, anything. As long as it's a novel from the mid-20th century. Via Twitter at Big Bang Pod, or on email bigbangpod@gmail.com, or Facebook The Big Bang Theory podcast as well. We'd love to hear from you, of course. Coming up next, we've actually got a week off, haven't we? So it's worth saying that. So the table might look a bit different by the time of our next game. But a week on Saturday.
Why would it?
Because some other teams are playing.
Are they?
Yes, there's a few games happening.
I thought it was because it's FA Cup third round.
It is FA Cup third round. We were supposed to play Barnsley, but they're still in the FA Cup third round. So if there's teams still who are
I see. So if you could play your match.
Yes.
For example, Argyle, Bolton.
Exactly.
Both out playing. Okay, yeah. So there's 4 matches on.
4 matches on,
so,
and maybe a couple of weekday ones, perhaps. Anyway, never mind all that. We've got Forest Green Rovers at home, who are, that's right, bottom of the league.
They are.
Obviously, they were our promotion rivals last season, came up top of the league, but they sit rock bottom on 20 points with a staggering goal difference of minus 28.
Wow. Minus 28.
Yeah, so they've conceded 49.
I mean, you just look at, we're both teams that came up last season. I mean, just look at the difference. I mean, I know by the end of the season, we could have swapped places with them. You know, they could be 10th, we could be 24th. You don't know what's going to happen.
Well, we've conceded 36, which isn't great, but we've scored 38. So, yeah, I think Forest Green have only scored 21. I mean, that's what wins you games, isn't it? So it's bad for them. We can't go into this and think it'll be easy, but they're a team that are down on their luck, and we're a team with a week off. I think they've got a week off too, but some time off.
They just lost 4 on the spin.
4 on the yes, they've had the exact opposite Christmas that we've had.
Yeah,
that's grim, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this we could be. I mean,
we thumped them at their place, didn't we?
Yeah, and like I said, we both come up. We could be like, oh, we're in the same boat as them. We both come up. It could be us, kind of thing, but. They're still in the FA Cup. They're playing Birmingham City at home.
Oh, you fear for them, don't you? They could get an absolute hatful put past them.
Yeah, but they're going to want to try and go for that game, aren't they? So I think it's to our advantage that we...
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it isn't because they're going to get a load of money for that. So financially, it's not to our advantage. But in terms of freshness and getting everybody back... Here's another thing we mentioned about the Saturday's game is Sam Stubbs was on the bench.
But was he already declared like he's just on the bench?
Yeah, they said before he's not going to take any part.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably just like, well, we haven't got that many players, I suppose.
Yeah.
But also
travelling and being part of it, and
just to get him back, in the matchday squad, which is good, isn't it? And about time.
You wonder if, because of course he had such a big impact last January onwards.
Yep.
If he can do something similar for us this season. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it? What weird patterns of injury and...
I know, you've got to feel sorry for him, really. But
it's must be very frustrating.
Yeah.
And like we said, if we can get 10 or 12 good games out of him, that could be massive.
So now he's got another 2 weeks training with the first team.
Yeah.
Maybe by that point, you can only touch wood that nothing happens in the meantime. But if it doesn't, then he's at very least, you expect him to be a kind of active part of the substitutes for Forest Green.
If he starts, who does he replace? Czech?
Well, it was Czech last year, would have been, yeah. I don't think because naturally position-wise, I think that's the way it goes as well. You put him in the centre. You're Sweeney on the right and Hartridge on the left. I think that's. But
obviously, Colwell will have different views than Matt Taylor did, so we'll see.
We'll see, but good news anyway. More good news.
Well, remarkable.
Yeah,
I thought he was kaput. Whatever happened to that statement they were going to make?
I think I've just kind of taken once again an ex-Web comment at face value, and it was probably part of some sort of broader joke that I didn't pick up on.
Well, never mind. It's just great to see him back. So we would expect a home win.
Yeah.
We would hope for the long-hoped-for Jay Stansfield big bank goal.
Oh, of course. I mean, every home game you're hoping for that. I mean, he could do with a goal anywhere.
Well, Nombe's picked up again now, hasn't he? Which is great.
Yeah, but hopefully, you don't want to take it for granted, do you? I know they're doing badly, but we're kind of slightly we're doing a bit better than we have, but we move into a kind of spell of kind of easier games, like.
Well, as we all know with Exeter City, a large disappointment is only ever just around the corner.
Well, and we got battered by Oxford at home. It was not like it's like, it's not nailed on win.
No.
But it should be, considering the form they're in. Who have they got? Connor Wickham's still there, isn't he?
I think Jordan Moore-Taylor's out injured. I think that's part of their problem.
Well, I don't know if
he's a good defender, isn't he?
Yeah, but... Yeah, I suppose... No, he is a good player.
Well, he was good for us. some years ago.
Yeah, I think he did all right for he got promoted with MK Dons, didn't he? But I
Yes.
mean, that was all League Two. I don't know what he's like really. I haven't really kept up with it.
No. And then we hit a kind of run of, and I'd include this in it, obviously, winnable games. So
Right, we got Portsmouth away, haven't we?
yeah, we got Portsmouth away, but of course we gave them a good, we held our own against them, didn't we?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily call that winnable.
All right, well, after that then, Barnsley, MK, Charlton, Burton, Shrewsbury, Port Vale, Cambridge, Wickham, Lincoln, Cheltenham, Accrington, Fleetwood. It's not till April the 7th that we play Bolton. I would say out of those games...
Yeah, I'm worried about all of those games.
Are you?
But I know what you mean. There's no like kind of massive big hitters in there.
When you look at the league now, I know we weren't going to...
And also, but... yeah, sorry. It's also like, there's not like a run of kind of... What we've had before is like, just recently is a run of big teams, all kind of like in a row.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't look like that.
I mean, that's saved for us until April. We have basically the same problem in April. But the top 6 is kind of as you'd expect it. I mean, I think
we can be safe by April, probably.
We can definitely be safe by April, especially with those games.
Yeah.
So when you think the top 6 is Argyle, Wednesday, Ipswich, Derby, Bolton, Barnsley. Now, I know we got to play Barnsley, but they, that's kind of, you think they're all big teams. In that massive run, we've only got one of those teams. And I know Portsmouth are a big team, but they sit in 12th at the minute. I feel like this is a very good opportunity. Colwell can bring maybe a player or two in. If Sam Stubbs is back and fit and everyone else is firing, we could really make a very good case for being safe before April.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like we've moved into a kind of like...
New phase of the moon.
Yeah, an exciting little period. Like it's like, oh, things are looking up again. And, again, it's only 2 games we've won. But... just generally, it's what we needed. It's the lift that we needed.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. So we'll see. I mean, there's all talk of a couple of our players, bids maybe coming in. I think.
Is there now?
Well, Dan, a lot of people have been worried about Matt Taylor coming knocking.
Yeah.
Well, of course, there's a couple of things going on there. Taylor's he's not racing away with anything at Rotherham, so he might need
quite
players.
the opposite, in fact.
Quite the opposite.
I think they were 10th when he took over, and now they're like
20th.
Yeah.
But he said, in his usual blunt way, he's looking to bring in free agents and loanees.
Okay.
So none of our players are free agents, obviously, and we're not going to loan any of our players out. So we might actually be able to dodge that bullet.
Yeah, I think it probably, given the circumstances, it looks unlikely that any of our players will go and join Matt Taylor at Rotherham.
Yes.
There's a lot of other teams they could go to.
Yes. But then that's money, isn't it?
If certain offers come in, we can't really turn them down.
Well, as we've always said, we're a selling club. There's no one there no one's more precious than a good bid, really, are they?
No, no, but I think it would have to be a good bid.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Considering how important this next 6 months, 5 months, whatever is.
Yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
And it's probably more important than getting... So let's say, just for example, let's say it's Giovanni Brown, right? What's a realistic bid for him, given that he's got 6 months left on his contract?
I mean, you can't see it being 6 figures, can you?
Yeah, I mean, but even if it was, let's say
200,000.
Yeah, 200 grand.
Yeah.
Is it worth... Are we better off with 200 grand...
And no Giovanni.
Or are we better just kind of like going like, nah, we'll keep him for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
I know you lose him then for nothing.
Yeah.
Or you almost certainly.
Yeah.
But it's more important to stay in the division, isn't it?
It's more important to stay in the division.
We've just got we got like some cash off selling Alfie Pond.
Yeah.
Which we presumably probably haven't got yet, but also haven't touched.
Yeah.
And,
No, I agree. And, it's also the factor, isn't it, of Giovanni, the bid comes in for Giovanni on the 15th of January. We know who we'd like to get, but we can't afford to buy them out of their contract, but we know that we've got a chance of getting them for free in the summer, similarly. So we think, oh, well, okay, we'll sell him because the money's useful, but then we've got to do 5 months with no one. So it's not even like, oh, well, the 200 grand would replace someone, because probably it won't. That's not really how Exeter City works, is it? We're not...
No. I mean, sometimes it is. Like, that was the case with Nombe, when we did pay a bit of a fee for him, for example.
Yeah.
But mostly, no, yeah.
But Nombe was a summer purchase.
Yeah,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true.
January's
yeah.
notoriously
in
bad,
January,
isn't it?
yeah, we wouldn't be able to replace him in January.
So I think you're right. I think we keep the money, we keep the player, we get our full value out of them.
Yeah. Yes, we're a selling club. Yes, we don't want to lose out on income, but we are kind of still a football team that have just moved up a division. And like, the most important thing is to maintain that at the moment. You know, surely.
Yeah, and like,
given that, like, part of, like, Giovanni. This is a bit simplistic, but he's not entirely responsible for the kind of, like, attendance going up, but he's not hurting that, is he?
No.
Like, having, like, likeable, charismatic, entertaining, good footballers is part of the reason that more people are going to watch Exeter City and that are excited about it. Let alone the fact that he actually kind of, like,
contributes massively.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I agree. And it's different, isn't it? If a bid comes in for Archie Collins that's 7 figures, that's different. I just think there are certain... I think you're absolutely right. There are players in contract. We got them for free or next to nothing. They'll probably go for next to nothing. We've paid them their wages. We've got good use out of them. It's all been good for everyone, to be honest. At the end of the season, we say thank you very much, but we don't worry about faffing around over... I'm not saying it's small change, but it's not life-changing money, is it?
Yeah, no.
I agree entirely.
Well, there's also every chance that, they say, that happens to one of the players. Another one of the players doesn't have any bids whatsoever in January and leaves at the end of the season anyway.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah.
That could have... just imagine that there was no interest in the player... Then just pretend it hasn't happened, because they would have gone anyway. I mean, they're not going to sign a new contract; they will go at the end of the season. So, just pretend no one did bid for them. Just when you see that email come in and it says "Jev?" and it's from Bolton's manager or whatever,
Chairman at Bolton.
You just archive it without even reading it.
That's good. It's good email chat. We don't cover email chat enough. You know, do you reckon Taggy's email address is taggy@ECFC?
Probably.
Yeah, I reckon it is.
Taggy Range Rover 69 at hotmail.com.
You know what Colwell's is?
Yeah.
He just changed it, actually. semperfideus@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Definitely. He's still keeping that going, by the way. Oh, yeah. Every time. Hashtag.
Well, you got to have it's good to have a thing.
Good to have a thing, Gary.
Is that and Gilets.
Yeah. Anything.
Here's the thing I've noticed about Gary Colwell.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty conservative dresser.
Yeah.
Very conservative hairstyle.
Yeah.
Much like Matt Taylor.
Yeah.
Very nice shoes.
Oh, really?
Lovely shoes.
Shiny
shoes. They look great.
Even on the pitch?
I don't know if he's wearing them on the pitch, because he sort of tends to sort of put...
Tracksuit, doesn't he?
Tracksuit on, but when he arrives at the ground, he looks very smart and he's got a great pair of shoes on.
Is he?
Yeah.
Do you reckon he's been down that place on the Cathedral Green? Loke?
They look better than Loke to me.
Loke are like £400 a pair. Yeah, are they no good?
No, they're fine.
I mean, I was wearing a pair of Daps.
Loke's a little bit like, kind of like, oh, you don't want to spend £1,000 on some nice shoes.
I don't.
Okay, here's some that look a bit like them for 300.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've never seen anyone loking in the window.
Have you not?
No, it seems to be
my friend has bought a couple of pairs from there, and I went in with them, and they do like the proper kind of like this little man in a tweed waistcoat who sort of sit you down and sort of touch up your feet.
Oh.
And go like, oh yeah, you could do with a wide loafer,
Yeah.
And they were like, bring you a little cup of tea over, and like it's all very kind of twee. And
if someone said to Gary Colwell the words "wide loafer," I think he'd knock him out.
Yeah, he
goes the same way as Jamal's
means
been.
something else in Glasgow, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely does.
Yeah.
Is that where he's from?
I've no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
I don't know if you get a Loke in Glasgow.
I don't know much about the history of Loke, actually.
No. Well, if anyone's got that information, get in touch in all the normal ways, of course. So that's that. So we won't be around next week because there's no football. We'll be back after the Forest Green. After the FGR.
Yeah, unless there's some sort of like...
Coconut update?
Well, no, or incredible transfer news.
If there's incredible transfer news, we might.
And we'll do incredible transfer news special.
We
Because we haven't talked about the fact that we might well buy some people. In fact, Gary Caldwell said we're pretty close to a couple of signings.
I mean, I believe it when I see it.
Well, he
but
said, look, he was expecting to have a couple new people in the building or something.
Wow.
That might mean something else. Might have got some new kiosk staff.
Yeah, some wide loafers into...
I'd like it if, like, kind of like...
That's what they call fat bakers, you know, these days.
Is
Wide
it?
loafer, yeah.
I'd like it if like all your ground staff were all kind of like, you get them from another team. Like,
yeah.
Oh, we've signed a new pasty vendor from...
Yeah, we've got Argyle's pasty fella.
We've poached them from like they're out
never
of
poach
contract.
a pasty.
God, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? I mean, that must happen. Like when Liverpool brought that throw-in fella in from a different sport.
Like it happens
entirely.
with like kind of media people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, like
Scott Palfrey gets tapped up by don't know.
Well, yeah.
Bristol Rovers could do with someone better. So maybe
I never look at any other team's
some
output, but I did notice there was some. I did actually have a look at some, and I was like, oh wow, our stuff's way better than some of this other crap.
For some reason, Bristol City's Boxing Day sale made its way into my algorithms.
Right.
And it was awful.
Boxing, what, their club shop?
Club shop Boxing Day sale.
Well, there's someone with worse club merch than us, is there?
Well, everything about it was awful. Like the advert, the merch. It's all very... You know our black and purple kit?
Yeah.
Everything they've got's like that.
The grey and pink one, you mean?
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's all like nightclub meltdown kind of designs.
Wow. Yeah.
Indian takeaway meets street artist. Those kind of colours,
I got to say as well, like, sometimes if you go on like another team's forum, which I quite often do just to see what people are saying about
City.
Especially if we've beaten, you know.
Yeah. Or if they think one of their players is coming to us.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like some of them are just like so many adverts on them that it's like impossible to even use. And I'm kind of thinking, who's taking this money?
I think the good people at XWeb do an excellent job at, it's a really usable forum, isn't it?
It is. I don't know what happens to that, who does it, but yeah, it is good.
They've got a team of people and they sort it all out properly and they're quite astute about it. I mean, it's
Good
been
on
going
you.
for years, hasn't it? So
Good on you.
good on you all. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back, in a fortnight with all the hot chat, unless there's some pre-match hot chat.
Hot chat.
Hot chat. Hot chat to you, Dan.
To anyone who's listened to this podcast in Germany,
oh yeah,
can you start listening again? Because we've dropped right down the charts there.
We got an email to tell us we dropped out of the German charts.
We dropped 22 places in the German soccer podcast chart.
We
still in the top 150 though.
We
so
didn't know
in that
we
category,
in the charts.
No.
But yeah, auf dem Deutscher, listen more, please, bitte.
Danke.
Dankeschön. Auf Wiederhören. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Danke.
See you soon.